To Z Sports, Sam Phelan here with you from Mobile, Alabama, the site of the 2024 Senior Bowl. Heading down here with A to Z Sports crew for coverage all week long of the Senior Bowl and of potential draft prospects that are going to be getting on the radar of your Tennessee Titans. Have some interesting names to break down that stood out to me from the first day of practice today, starting with one offensive name, one defensive name. We will get into both of those here over the next few minutes, but a reminder that Titans at 2, whenever you're seeing this, I don't know what time you are seeing this, the schedule has deviated a little bit with me being down on the road here in Alabama, but Titans at 2 is always powered and sponsored by my friends over at the Aura app, because anyone can find anything on the internet. That includes your full name, your personal email, your home address, your phone number, even relatives. Aura found 30 data brokers that had my information, immediately submitted opt-out requests on my behalf, and has since removed my information from these sites so that I'm no longer bothered by spam callers and robocallers and telemarketers and people who have my information. They can't sell my info anymore. So they can opt you out of junk mail, telemarketing lists. They have a VPN, password manager, anything and everything to keep you safe online. Let Aura do the hard work and protect you. Sign up using our link, which is in the description of this video in aura.com/ATOZ to get a 2-week free trial with the Aura app. So the Senior Bowl, or at least Senior Bowl week here in Mobile, is underway with the first day of practices earlier today. I was out on the practice field scouting some potential draft prospects for your Tennessee Titans. And usually there is a good crop of talent down here at the Senior Bowl, maybe 5 players or so that go in the first round. But really, this is the home run area to find your day 2 and early day 3 draft picks. There's obviously talent that ranges from first round, right, and top tier names. And we've seen first overall picks in the Senior Bowl before, ranging all the way down to some preferred free agents. But for the most part, you're going to find guys who are going to be taken somewhere in the middle of the draft. And so I'm finding this is a really interesting experience and opportunity to familiarize myself with players at positions of need for the Titans that I think they may target in the middle rounds of the draft. Now, the Titans don't have a 3rd round pick, but they do have a 2nd round pick that is towards the beginning of the 2nd round, and they do have a 4th round pick. And so I think you look at some of the team's needs, one being obviously offensive tackle and offensive line in general. Wide receiver is a need that comes to mind. Defensive back is a need that comes to mind. And depending on where the Titans go with that number 7 pick overall, some of the guys that I'm out here watching in Alabama could be names that are in play for Tennessee in the 2nd round. I am kind of operating under the assumption, and they could go a number of ways. They could go wide receiver at number 7, which I think is one of the likely scenarios. I think the other option would be offensive line at number 7. I don't think taking a cornerback at number 7 is a reasonable thing for the Titans to do. I don't see that happening. And because of that, I'm assuming that corner and help in the secondary is something that is still on the table for the Titans in the middle rounds of the draft. And so I came out here today wanting to look for, hey, who might be there for the Titans at pick? I believe it's 39 in the NFL draft, that 7th pick of the 2nd round. Who might be there at 39 that could be a difference maker to the Titans secondary? And so this is where we get to my first Senior Bowl standout that I think could land with the Tennessee Titans in the 2024 NFL draft. And it is Toledo cornerback Quinyon Mitchell. Toledo quarterback Quinyon Mitchell had 5 interceptions last year in 2022, only 1 interception this year for the Toledo Rockets. Maybe an under-discussed name or a sneaky name that's not as high on draft boards as he potentially could be, because he went to a group of 5 school in Toledo and played in the MAC instead of your, Kool-Aid McKinstry's or some of your other Power 5 cornerbacks. He is rated on the consensus big board right now as the cornerback 5 in the draft. Kool-Aid McKinstry is your CB1. You have Nate Wiggins from Clemson as your CB2. Cooper DeJean from Iowa as your 3rd cornerback. Your other Alabama corner, Terrion Arnold, is your cornerback 5. And then Quinyon Mitchell out of Toledo is is 5, and Terrion Arnold is number 4. He is number 27 overall on the consensus big board. So potentially a guy who could play his way into the back half of this first round, potentially a guy that slides a little bit and is available at the front end of the second round. Now, does he get all the way to 39 for the Titans? I don't know. Probably not likely as things sit right now. And that's only because Quinyon Mitchell balled out today. He was the guy in the practices today that I had my eyes glued to and was very, very impressed with. Might be the best defensive player at the Senior Bowl. That's how good he is. Here's a couple of his reps. This one is a win during the one-on-one period of drills. This opened practice, and you see Mitchell running. I believe this is with Luke McCaffrey, Rice wide receiver Luke McCaffrey here. But 3 straight reps in these one-on-ones, a drill that is usually supposed to favor the offensive player, went Mitchell's way, where he had pass breakups and forced incompletions and was in very tight coverage during the team period of practice. He followed it up with 2 more pass breakups. Always seemed to have a nose for the ball, gets downhill very, very quickly and can stop on a dime to do it. Maybe had some trouble with some in-breaking routes at times, but I think that's kind of a natural spot for a corner to be in because those were the one-on-ones, right? He was in one-on-ones, got beat on 2 in-breaking routes, but those are the hardest routes to cover. Anything over his head, Quinyon Mitchell was locked down. I mean, just look at one of these reps again. How easily he flips his hips, how patient he is at the line of scrimmage with his footwork, effortless speed to get down the field and run with the wide receiver here. Patient, love his ability to get his head turned around. You see him turn towards the ball, locate the ball very quickly, and then he can track the ball while he's running with his guy. This was another up. This is during the team period. This is him running with McCaffrey again down the sideline, and he is just step for step with his guy. So a very physical corner, a corner who said after the practice today that he models his game after Darius Slay. He admires Slay's patience and Slay's physicality and how long he has been able to be a strong cover corner in the NFL. That's the career path that I think Quinyon Mitchell could be on right now. A guy who is just very strong, very physical, can run with the best of them, can really, really excel in man coverage, especially in press man, and looking to show enough versatility to teams to say, hey, I can play anywhere and in any scheme possible. But if you're the Titans right now, Christian Fulton, unrestricted free agent. If you're the Titans with Sean Murphy-Bunting as an unrestricted free agent, you're looking at a roster with essentially only Roger McCreary as like a starting caliber cornerback that is under contract next year. You've got some depth guys and Eric Garrer and Trey Avery and whatnot that could be on this roster, but are mainly special teams impact players. And like an ideal world, you need help in this secondary. You don't have any veterans there, and you don't have any young talent coming down the pipeline. Quinyon Mitchell could be that guy for the Titans. Like I said, 27 on the big board. The Titans don't pick until 39. If he's there at the beginning of the second round, could they trade up? I don't know. I don't know how the Titans evaluate him. I don't know how much corner is a pressing need for them, or how much better they think he is than the next best guy. I mean, the next top cornerbacks in the draft, according to the consensus big board, are Kamari Lassiter out of Georgia, who's at 31, Kalen King, who I got a pretty good look at today as well, at 41. I liked what I saw at Chris Abrams Drain. So there is talent in the draft. There is a lot of depth at corner. But Quinyon Mitchell, standout to me. If I'm the Titans, if he's there at 39, I'm running the card in. I could not be more excited to get this pick in and make him a Tennessee Titan. So that is a name to watch. I'm very excited about that idea. I think whoever gets him is going to get a very good corner for a long time. And I will tell you who my offensive guy is on the other side of the ball. But before I do it, a reminder that Titans at 2 today is sponsored by NFL Flag Football and the Titans Flag Football Leagues. It's Youth Titans NFL Flag Football Leagues in and around Nashville in a once-a-week program on Sundays for a total of about 2 hours. every day on Sunday. Registration closes February 18th. That's coming up in a couple weeks. So you're running out of time to get your pre-K through fifth grader registered for NFL flag football leagues. Again, registration closes February 18th. The season goes to May. It'll start sometime in March and go through May. There is a link in the description below. And you can click on www.titansflagfootball.com to register. Again, flag football leagues in and around Nashville. Football's not going away just because it's springtime. Visit www.titansflagfootball.com. Also sponsored by my friends over at Southern New Hampshire University and the SNHU Sports Marketing Program with their online sports management program. Here at A to Z Sports, we are driven by our passion for sports and our desire to continue building our sports careers. I get asked all the time, Sam, hey, how did you get started in sports? Or what's it like to cover the NFL? And if you want to know, our sponsor, Southern New Hampshire University's online sports management program, lets you turn your passion for sports into a degree. It's a degree that can help prepare you for a career as an athletic director, a sports information director, a programming manager, a marketing manager, and other exciting roles in the sports industry. You can tap into SNHU's network of graduates working in the industry because they have courses taught by faculty with real-world experience. They're accredited, nonprofit, have radically affordable tuition. So if you're looking to work in sports, if you're looking to get that passionate career in sports that you love, make sure you go to snhu.com/ATOZ. The link is in the description of the show. Thank you to our sponsors at SNHU. And here I am to tell you guys, all you Titans fans, because listen, offensive line, I will get to offensive line later in the week. I will watch some of the offensive linemen. But if I'm being honest with you, it is a little bit more difficult to judge the offensive linemen because none of the top first-round caliber guys are here. Very rarely do you see impact offensive tackles going in like the third, fourth, fifth round. Guards, maybe. Centers, maybe. This Powers Johnson guy out of Oregon is impressive. And I will get more details on him at atozsports.com later this week because I think he could be a huge fit for the Titans on the interior offensive line. But if we look at where they're positioned in the draft and we say, okay, maybe they go with Olu-Fashanu, maybe they go with Joe Alt at 7th overall, offensive line, a real possibility. Cornerback, still an issue. I mentioned Quinyon Mitchell. Wide receiver, still an issue. Titans could take Malik Neighbors. They could go Rome Odunze. They could go wide receiver in the top 10. But if not, they might need to find a sleeper to add to their receiving core. You have DeAndre Hopkins. You have Treylon Burks. Who knows what Treylon Burks is going to be in 2024, but you do have that piece at least as a part of your group. Can Brian Callahan bring in T. Higgins or Tyler Boyd? But do you need to add one in the draft? And if you do, and if you want a sleeper, I am starting to get bullish on USC wide receiver Brendan Rice, the son of Jerry Rice. He was a standout today as well. Somebody who I have some concern about, who I think my biggest question regarding Brendan Rice is how versatile is he? How capable is he of running a complete route tree? Because I can tell you, physically, just from a strength standpoint and a wingspan standpoint and a speed standpoint, Brendan Rice has it to be dangerous in the National Football League. Cornerbacks today in one-on-ones were, it was laundry all over the field. Flag after flag after flag trying to guard Brendan Rice. He is a nightmare matchup one-on-one, but a lot of the routes are like this one that you will see where he is grabbed and it's a little stutter, huge flag. You see the flags come out and he still makes the catch, slides at the end zone and had his guy beat. So a lot of routes similar to that, a lot of go routes, a lot of things where he's starting and stopping, but he's moving vertically. I'm curious to see how capable he would be of separating over the middle or running some shorter route concepts, right? We've seen guys in the past not be able to separate on shorter route concepts, and these long developing routes just don't always work. It could be a scheme fit for the Titans because we know how much Will Levis likes to air it out. And Brendan Rice's tape at USC is a deep threat through and through. He was one of 10 wide receivers in college football last year that had 12 or more receiving touchdowns. Caleb Williams to Brendan Rice was one of the most explosive combinations in the sport. And again, so hard to handle one-on-one. This is just a size advantage and it is a speed advantage. But he didn't always get the most separation. He wasn't always wide open. I think you have a couple strengths here, and it is the fact that he's just so much bigger that he can use his body to create space. And number two, he has great play strength. He's able to come down with nice contested catches. And when you're that big and difficult to deal with, and you can come down with contested catches, you're dangerous. This is Brendan Rice after practice today, comparing himself to a wide receiver who I said he kind of looks like so-and-so.
Honestly, first of all, I'm my own person. So you can go ahead and say DK a little bit just because of the speed, but at the same time, I feel as though I get in and out of my breaks a little bit better. I kind of want to go after Julio just a little bit, but I don't have the size of Julio.
Hey, man, keep doing your
So doesn't have the size of Julio, but maybe a play style of Julio, and compared himself a little bit to DK Metcalf. I do see some DK Metcalf in Brendan Rice. Again, a guy who in a straight line speed, very, very dangerous, a difficult guy to handle, knows how to use his body. The biggest question and what DK Metcalf was able to do when he got to the NFL was figure out how to run those slant routes and those shorter route concepts, creating separation, which turned him from just the deep threat to one of the game's top receivers and an explosive 1,000+ yard receiver year in and year out. So Brendan Rice has a lot of upside here. He has at least started to get my attention. He comes in at number 90 on the draft big board, number 90 on the consensus big board. And he is the wide receiver. Let's see what he is. He's the wide receiver 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like maybe the wide receiver 20. I mean, he is down there as far as wide receivers are concerned. So he could be a guy that's available in round 3. Listen, the Titans don't have a 3rd round pick, but maybe he sticks around till the 4th. Maybe this is a guy that the Titans could trade into the 3rd to go get if they value him enough. But this is a name to watch if you need a sleeper wide receiver that could impact the Titans in 2024. I have my eye on Brendan Rice. And if I'm a Titans fan, I'm going to start watching his tape and looking at him as well. Going to have more updates from the Senior Bowl throughout the week. We have practice tomorrow, which is Wednesday. I'm recording this on Tuesday after the first day of practice. I got more practice on Wednesday. I got more practice on Thursday. I've got some networking to go do to potentially get some information and just try and stay plugged in with what's going on with your Tennessee Titans as this new head coach tries to fill out his staff and also tries to turn this roster around as quickly as possible. So the Ranahan era, how are they proceeding in their first offseason as a duo? It all starts at the Senior Bowl. That is the phrase, at least. The draft starts in Mobile, and that is what is going on so far. So keep an eye on A2ZSports.com for content from myself and other members of the A to Z Sports team who are down here in Mobile covering the Senior Bowl for information about all the draft prospects that you might want to know some information about, because as the draft gets closer, these names are going to become more and more relevant, and you're going to want to know all about each one of them. So that's all I got time for today, because I got to go run. I got to go get more into these prospects. I got to go figure out what's going on with the Titans here in Alabama. But you guys keep it locked on my Twitter account. Keep it locked on A to Z Sports throughout the rest of the week for all of the Senior Bowl and draft content. Just because it's the offseason doesn't mean we sleep or slow down here at A to Z. Till next time, tighten up.